Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me about these beautiful Leos in late January. We're moving right on into Aquarius season, your zodiacal opposite. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo gang. What is the vibe? What is the energy around my good friends here in late January? Please, let's get this card out nice and quick for you. What's going on? There we go. Thank you. Beautiful. All right, we're starting good here. This is a nice little change of pace because I will say, Leo, and we'll talk about it a little further down the line, last few weeks there's been a bit of a choppy energy coming through, but to start off a reading with this Empress is lovely. Really, really nice. Lots of blessings and abundance. I really feel like this is one of the best ones in this whole entire deck. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So we see this lovely divine feminine figure here. She is amidst the woods, the flora, the fauna. She has the plants and the animals. They're all around her. She has the tree of life on her back, and it just feels peaceful and serene. So I feel like for some Leos, maybe you just need a little bit of serenity. Maybe you need to just get into a nice quiet zone in regards to something. But aside from that, I feel like this is filled with potential. This is really great because one thing we always think about with the Empress, divine feminine, goddess figure, fertility. It could represent mother figures. So if you're going through any situations involving a mother figure or motherhood in general, this card could represent it. But I just love her energy. It connects to Taurus and Libra, that type of vibe too. So I'm not sure if you're connected to either of those. But when I see her, I just think of tons and tons of potential. So I think some great things could be coming your way. If not, maybe you just need a little quiet time, right? Maybe you just need to get into a Zen moment in regards to whatever it is you're going through right now. A little peace could be nice. Now, a challenge with this Empress energy, sometimes it could be a little stagnant, a little slow, but I'm not picking that up. I feel like this is a silver lining, even if we have challenges in tarot. So we're going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot now. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Leo gang. Let's see what we got. And while we get this shuffled up, let's talk about last week's reading. Not the nicest title to the reading. It was titled They Are a Mess. And to me, it felt like there might be someone around you that could be going through something pretty big, at least to them, because the energy just felt pretty sporadic. There was like a lot of stress. There was a lot of overthinking. There was just a bit of a messy energy, if I'm being honest. And I will say this, for recent weeks, there's been some mixed bags. There's been some choppy energies around the collective. So we're going to hope to shift the gears here and move into something a little more positive, hopefully. But let's see. We'll see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. What do we got for my beautiful Leos here? Guides, what is happening? And it seems like the energy that I've been picking up has been focused around others mostly in recent weeks. Okay, Ace of Swords. Well, all right, this showed up in the Aries reading as well. So this must be a fire sign thing. And that always happens for some reason. I think there's a lot of similarities between Aries and Leo. And I say that as an Aries myself, but it seems like they always share similar cards. I like the Ace of Swords in position number 1. And that's a lot of potential, right? 6 of Pentacles in position number 2. This is good. It's a little more grounded, the energy, but it's giving. I do like this. Let's get one more. Maybe you need to spoil yourself a little bit. That's a little side message, because when I see the 6 of Pentacles, that's one of my cards of like gift giving. So maybe you might want to spoil yourself a little bit. Okay, here on the back end, we have the 9 of Swords. You do share 2 cards in the main spread that the Aries got as well. So I guess us fire signs, we might have an interesting week ahead of us, huh? with this Nine of Swords. I don't feel like it's all a challenge, though. I think there's some good energy here, more good than challenging. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always look at the elements first. I feel like that's super important to really consider how the energy is flowing. And right here, split ends, we have a lot of swords. Swords, that's air energy. Now, as fire signs, we're really good at vibing with sword energy for the most part. Fire and air, that's a pretty good complementary type of vibe. So I don't feel like this is something that's really going to have your energy too jacked up. We do have this earth energy here in the center, which is planted. But the one thing I feel here, the energy, it's starting to flow, right? So there could be something starting to build up steam or pick up steam soon, which I think is nice. Very good positivity here in the front, but we do have this stress-induced energy right there in the back. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. Position number one, we are starting with the Ace of Swords. This card is nicknamed the Sword of Truth. And I say it with all aces. They represent offers. They represent opportunities. They're great for new things, new ventures, new things that you want to indulge in. This is a pretty good card for that. Could be offers coming in. The Sword of Truth can most definitely be a conversation of some sort. Now, with this card, it is intellectually stimulated. So for some Leos, maybe you just need some intellectual stimulation here. So whether that's reading or taking in new information, this is a card that sees things clearly. In regards to talking, it is going to say things clearly too. This is a no BS, no nonsense type of energy. It's very stern, very serious, straight to the point. So I feel like for the fire signs, especially in this time of the year, we could have no filter. So just know that like your filter could be non-existent in this time when this card is here. Now, the Ace of Swords as a challenge, yeah, it could be a little harsh sometimes, especially with communication. It could sometimes be a little bit mean. So you might put someone in their feelers. You might hurt someone's feelings when this card shows up. It could also represent trimming things out. So there could be certain things, whether it's habits, whether it's behaviors, whether it's people. When we see the Ace of Swords, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm cutting that out, I'm cutting that away, I'm cutting that away. Moving to the center, another pretty positive energy. We have the Six of Pentacles, which I feel like is really nice. Now, Pentacle energy is earth. It's slow, it's dependable. I feel like for a lot of Leos, maybe you're in work mode, maybe there's a lot of career things on your mind when this card is here. And I always say with this one, it's giving, it's charitable. So we'll split this in two different ways. If we're talking like work and business and monetary things, this is a good free flow of this earthly energy. This could be a nice little uptick that's building up for you in regards to money and business. In regards to connections and relationships, it could represent equality. It could represent wanting to give to something, make something right. Sometimes when I see this card, it could represent mending things as well, similar to the Eight of Pentacles, but it's giving. It's like, I want to give to this, or I want to continue giving to this. And again, this is a card that I link to gift giving as well. So maybe some of you might be in the mood to spoil yourself a little bit, or maybe someone's going to spoil you when this card is here. It's not a bad thing. When we come to the challenge of the Six of Pentacles, though, I will say sometimes it could represent a situation that is not super equal. It could represent something that is off balance. It does have karmic archetypes to it as well. In the challenge, sometimes it could represent like conceding too much, where it's like, all right, well, I'm picking up all the slack here, but we'll see when we clarify it. I feel like it's good. I feel like this front end energy feels crisp to me. Now, when we get to the back end, this is where we might run into a situation or problem. We have the Nine of Swords. And I always say with this card, you don't have to be an expert in tarot to understand what it means. We see this person, they're sitting up in bed, they got the face in the hands, they are stressing out. It could just represent something to do with your sleep or sleep schedule. You might have certain nights where you're going to bed way past your normal time. Might be having a little insomnia. You might be having some funky dreams when this card comes out. So if you are having very vivid, interesting dreams, you might want to make note of certain symbolism when this card is here. But again, similar to last week, remember, they are a mess. This energy is a bit of a mess too. So just know there could be some overthinking on someone's part. It could be nervousness, anxiety. I'd say a positive aspect of this card is that it does link into energetic sensitivity and the paranormal. So for some of you, this could just materialize as having more paranormal experiences than you normally do, or at the very least, just being extra sensitive to energy. So we're going to dive deeper on all of it, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's see what's going on for my lovely Leos, please. What is happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ace of Swords. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what that Ace of Swords is about. Why is it in the mix for the lovely Leos? What is happening? Thank you. Double aces. Fire-air combination. All right. There could be something where you might want to hold off on addressing it. Okay. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but this is almost a mirror exact energy I was picking up in Aries. And I'm going to say for all the fire signs, including you, that filter could be non-existent in this time, where there could be certain things that pop up and you're just going to jump right to it. You're going to say what you think. You're going to say what you feel. The fire-air combination with both of these, they're both communicating, but these are energies that spark off. So again, whether this is an explosive talk or conversation where it's a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but I'm just getting that vibe for a lot of Leos in this time. If there is something that's getting under your skin or something that's bothering you, you're going to call it like you see it. And I don't feel you having much of a filter this week. Okay, so you might get someone in their feelers here. Now, the Ace of Wands in the upright, very fiery, but we did get it in reverse, which is like, all right, well, maybe calm it down, like maybe address it, but don't go too far. So it's like, yeah, be aggressive, but not too aggressive. That's kind of the advice that's coming up here. So maybe there is something you need to talk, whether it's a serious talk or an explosive one like we saw, where it's like you need to address it, but don't let it get too far, if that makes sense. Again, this could be something that pops up later on down the week, but I don't feel you having much of a filter here. You probably don't have one to begin with, right? Listen, I know as a fire sign, we call it like we see it, but it just feels a little extra that in this time, okay? Let's keep moving. Because I am most definitely getting the vibe of someone that speaks before they think. Again, if that's not you, it could be someone you're connected to where they say something or they start a conversation without even thinking about it. Let's keep moving. Let's see what that Six of Pentacles is about. Now, again, this is great for new things. Even though this Ace of Wands is in reverse, it's like, all right, well, just think about it, consider it. There's good energy, offers, opportunities coming in too. But let's see why the Six of Pentacles is here. Let's see what's up with that. There's the Six of Pentacles in the mix. Thank you. I mean, now this is getting very, very, very strategic here in the center. This is getting very, very strategic. Now, you might need to consider if something is even worth your energy. And again, it's like the same theme with all the fire signs. Okay, we must be very in sync for some reason. The King of Swords is a big card of strategy and planning. So remember I was saying with the Six of Pentacles, it's like, all right, I'm going to give to this. I'm going to put my energy there. I'm going to be open to this. I'm going to fix this. With the King of Swords, unless you're connected to an air sign, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, when I see him, he is the master strategist. He's like, I'm going to plan this out. For some of you, you might really need to consider if a situation or something is even worth you addressing it. That's why I kind of said with here, it's like, yeah, I mean, you could say what you want to say, you could do what you want to do, but is it worth even talking about? Is it even worth pursuing? Like, these are questions you might want to ask yourself. And again, I don't like to give advice in the readings. I just like to read the energy as it comes across. Now, if that's not the case, if you're not deciding where you're putting your energy and what you're giving your energy to, when I see this, there could be plans in the works, or for you, you might want to structure your actions, structure your movements. So it's like, listen, really consider something before you make a move. You might need to plan it and do it within a step-by-step procedure. If that's not you, it could be someone else you're connected to that's getting into that vibe. So lots of strategy, lots of planning here. Whether it's spirit telling you to do so, or whether this is someone you're connected to where they're like, no, I'm gonna plan this right. I'm gonna make sure I do this right. Let's keep moving forward. Interesting stuff, that's for sure. But why is the Nine of Swords here? We'll go into that, then we'll do our quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Nine of Swords in the mix, please? Someone could be planning something there in the center. All right, so there could be someone you're connected to that's going to be going through a bit of a difficult time here. And I don't necessarily feel like it's you, unless you're having relationship issues. For a small portion of you, if you are not seeing eye to eye with a soul bond, soulmate, really strong connection, that could just be representing that, where it's like, listen, we're just not seeing eye to eye right now, or there's just something that's askew about the energy, where it's like, yeah, well, it's usually lined up, but right now it's not quite lined up. So for a small portion of you, it could be interpersonal relationships, even romantic issues. But the first thing I felt here when I see the Nine of Swords with the Two of Cups in reverse, it's like, listen, someone you care about, they're probably going to be going through a bit of a difficult time if they're not already. If they're not already, are there things you could do to help alleviate this? Possibly. I mean, are there things where it's like, all right, I mean, there's nothing I could really do? I guess it depends on your situation because mileage may vary. But let's talk about it. The Two of Cups, usually in the upright, it's a fantastic energy, but you got it in reverse this week. And this is a card of soul bonds, soul ties. Doesn't always have to be romance. It could be friends. It could be family members, people that we're usually very close to. So when it's in reverse underneath the Nine of Swords, those are the two main messages I'm getting here. Either there's going to be some stressors or stresses with people you care deeply for, or there could be just issues in the romantic realm. It feels pretty straightforward. I don't feel like there's a lot of underlying energy here. I just hope whoever this is, they're not going through too hard of a time, because that's what it feels like to me on the back end. But with the energy here on the front, it could be good. Let's go through and do a quick recap here, Leo, because there's a lot of different energy at play. Position number one, we have the Ace of Swords with the Ace of Wands in reverse. So both of these cards are very similar energy. I did say, like, you might want to pull back or address something, but, like, watch how you do it. There's something here about not having much of a filter. So just know this could be an explosive talk of some kind where things get a little wild. But I also feel like, nope, screw it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to bring it up. That's another vibe. There are good new energies coming towards you, which is a really nice thing. But moving to the center, we have the Six of Pentacles with the King of Swords. Very strategic, very plan-based. So for some Leos, you might be in a mode and mindset of like, all right, well, I'm only going to put my energy towards what will serve me. Is this even worth my time? Is this even worth my strategy? I feel someone working through in a functioned like a structured way, if that makes sense. So any issues or problems, if you go step by step and plan it out properly, you're probably going to get better results. For another portion of you, it could be someone you're connected to where they have some plans in place, or maybe I already did say that gift giving type of energy, but to make something right. So there is someone here in the plan mode. On the back end, we do have the Nine of Swords with the Two of Cups in reverse. So pretty simple, straightforward. Either you're having some issues with someone you care deeply for, or someone you care deeply for is going to be having a pretty difficult time in the short-term future. Okay, now, is this something you can help with? Will they take your advice? Could you help steer them in the right direction? I mean, I guess that depends on if you want to, right? But interesting energy for the most part. And I feel like if you feel like you need to address something, you just should, straightforward, straight up. So please take a screenshot of that if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows for the lovely Leos. Let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got, my guides? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get you a shadow card. What is happening? What do we got for the Leos? Oh, that card almost flew off my desk there, my friends. Okay, we do have the Nine of Pentacles, which is pretty good. Another card that does link to the monetary, it links to the finances, it links to work-related things as well. Notice, since it's the shadow deck, it does show the challenges of the card, and this person seems to be in a bird cage. This card is very grounded. Now, I'll give you some of the positives, because for some of you, especially with the Aces and the Six of Pentacles, this reading does have a lot of positives we could pull from it. The Nine of Pentacles is abundant, it's independent, it's cup runneth over type of energy. So this can be really good, but at the same time, it's not moving too quick. So there could be certain situations in this time where either one, you might feel trapped, like your back's against the wall, where it's like, all right, I don't have many options here, or two, it's just something that's not moving to your liking, like something where it could be even frustrating you. So I would say that's just energy to watch out for, especially if you feel like you're in a birdcage yourself. But yeah, Leo, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details, the January subscriber surprise. If you would like to get a personal reading from me and get a little forecast for what 2025 has in store for you, you can check out my website and digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com to look for availability. But for the January subscriber surprise, we are once again giving away 3 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what is your main goal for the 2025 calendar year? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab as usual, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you soon.